Right.
Good morning and welcome to this Merseyside Environmental Trust online event. My name is Stephen Sykes and I'm the chair of the trust and your alleged host for this session. One housekeeping tip, if you could keep your microphones on mute during the presentation, that would be greatly appreciated. The Merseyside Environmental Trust was founded in 1984 and is a politically neutral charitable body that operates on an entirely voluntary basis, relying on membership fees and kind donation to raise awareness of sustainability issues, stimulate debate, and award small grants to local organisations, and acts as a signposting body for environmental events and activities across the region. Today's event is based on the adventures of Little Globby, and without any further ado, I will hand the screen over to Christina and her daughter, Nicole, to introduce themselves and lead today's session.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you, Stephen.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this wonderful event. Thank you very much, Stephen and Merseyside Environmental Trust for all support during this important event. We are celebrating Global Goals Week during 18th of September and 26th of September this year. And we want to create actions and awareness about sustainability and all what means sustainable development goals. Little Globby is our last educational story, part of a series of three story books till now, and is dedicated to climate change and protection of the environment. SDG 13, one of the Sustainable Development Goals by United Nations. And we are really pleased to invite you to explore with us a part of this wonderful story with Little Globby. So let's begin. In all his stories, Little Globby wants to bring a smile on everyone's faces. But in this story, he wants to do something more. He wants to live on a healthy planet with clean seas and oceans and breathe clean air, making happy faces everywhere. A walk on a beautiful beach. The sun rises and shines in the blue sky on a cold and beautiful morning in May. Little Globby smiled as usual and took a step back to admire the new morning that was just waking up. Good morning. It was a very cold and long winter, wasn't it, Max? Max began to growl, confirming Little Globby's suspicions. Max was his old friend and shouldn't be contradicting him, especially when Little Globby was right. It was indeed a beautiful spring morning. After smelling the cheerful and colorful flowers from his garden, Little Globby remembered that he was planning to walk on the beach that day. Max, why don't we take a walk on the beach? The sun is shining and the sea must be very wonderful this morning. Come on, let's go. Once they arrived on the beach, however, Little Globby suddenly felt sad. The beach was full of rubbish, and on the sand, the shells and the crabs were covered behind all this mess? Plastic bottles, glasses, and papers of all kinds were flying, held by the wind which started to blow. Max, being attracted by the wind's action, started to run on the beach after a plastic cup. Little Globby followed him quickly, afraid not to lose his dearest friend. Suddenly, they heard a very strange voice. "Do not follow me, curious and awful creatures. I have to get into the sea. There are more beautiful places than this dirty beach." Little Globby was scared, and he looked around to find who was talking to him in that way. He knew that Max wasn't able to talk by nature, but just barked loudly. Looking more carefully around the beach, he saw a broken plastic cup which had two big eyes staring at little Globby and Max. He was so angry and looked scary. "Did you just talk to me?" said little Globby, and tried to catch in his hands the plastic cup. "Yes, I did. Put me down now. I want to get into the sea." "I cannot leave you," said little Globby. "There are many friends of mine who need clean water for more light and oxygen, and you can't hurt them." "So what? I need other places to explore, and I need some fun," said the plastic cup, and suddenly jumped directly into the water. "Oh no," said little Globby. He jumped into the sea. "Max, let's quickly gather all the plastic rubbish from this beach. Our marine friends need our help." Max clearly understood the message of his friend, and together they began to collect all the plastic rubbish. After this, little Globby put all the rubbish in a designated place for recycling waste, which was specially created for that beach. When they had nearly finished, on the beach they saw a yellow straw made of plastic hopping to the sea. Max ran as fast as he could to catch it, but a huge wave came fast and the straw plunged into the sea. Unfortunately, they couldn't stop it. Max ran back to little Globby, barking very loudly, and he was very upset. "It's okay, boy. You have tried hard, but we can't sort out all this rubbish from the beach." Both friends were trying to calm down. They sat on the beach, relaxed, trying to admire the sunrise.
Baby Chippy the baby dolphin. The sun was glowing more and getting bigger, and it was lighting the sea and dancing on the waves. It was squeezing a huge path of light over the deep and infinite night blue of the sea. It was beautiful and calming environment, and the breeze was full of oxygen and pure air. After some hard, warming moments on the horizon, on top of a wave, a strange creature was coming closer and closer to them. It seemed to be a big fish or what. Max began to bark loudly as usual, and he was trying to plunge the waves. No, Max, it is dangerous, boy. In the sea, a quiet glass silhouette was becoming more and more invisible from the shore. Looking through his binoculars, little Cloppy saw a beautiful baby dolphin. Look, Max, it is a baby dolphin. He's gorgeous. Little Cloppy was admiring the baby dolphin, but not for long, as Max was starting to bark more and more lively. It was indeed a very beautiful baby dolphin, but he was hurt. One of his flippers caught by the broken and the angry glass, which the two friends had tried to catch earlier on the beach. Come closer, please. Don't be afraid. We are just trying to help you, said little Cloppy. The baby dolphin quickly understood little Cloppy's message, but he was afraid of Max's barking. Slow and warning, the baby dolphin approached the shore. Hello, my name is Chippy. I lost my family because I have a damaged flipper and I cannot swim as fast as before, said the baby dolphin. Hi Chippy, I'm Cloppy and this is my friend Max. Don't be afraid. We will help you recover and find your family. That said, little Cloppy was trying to get closer to the sea with wave near the baby dolphin. It was difficult, however, because the sun's reflections on the water surface made it hard to see Chippy properly. Also, Max's barking worried the baby dolphin, who was shouting at his friend. Finally, little Cloppy arrived near the baby dolphin and struggled to remove the broken plastic cap from the baby dolphin's flipper. After a while, little Cloppy came ashore with the broken plastic cup in his right hand and put it in the box, which was made especially for recycling the plastic. Max was starting to bark again and ran to his friend, becoming very happy that the rescue operation was successful. Chippy the baby dolphin made some sensational jumps and acrobatics in the ocean waves, happy that he could swim properly again. Thank you so much, little Cloppy. You saved me. I'm so happy to be able to swim and play again in the waves. Now I need to find my family. Tell me, how can I reward your kindness? Oh, please, don't worry. All I want now is to help you find your family, but I don't know how we can do that. I know Chip the baby dolphin. Come with me. Chirag, you can put your hands on me, on my tail, and the swimming will be easier for you and your friend. We will start to explore the seas and oceans in the search of my family. But we cannot survive for long in the sea, and besides, Max doesn't know how to swim very well, said little Cloppy. Okay, I understand, said Chippy. We can solve this problem. Close your eyes and count to 3. 1, 2, 3. And little Cloppy and Max opened their eyes.
Thank you, Nicole. On the water surface, they could see a palette of colors that seemed to try to get out of the water. After 2 seconds, a multicolored submarine made of green algae, purple anemones, pink starfishes, and white seashells appeared. Let's rescue Lucy, our baby turtle. Little Globby and Max enjoyed this unique experience of exploring the sea. Suddenly, they saw a lot of rubbish on the sea: plastic cups, bottles, straws, and different colored packaging. Besides them, one of the marine turtles was lying on the seabed, trapped and unable to move or swim. "Hi, what's the matter, Lucy?" said Chippy. "Please, guys, can we help her? She's Lucy, the youngest of the family of the marine turtles. I think she's hurt." Little Globby examined the baby turtle carefully. They soon found stuck in her flipper a colorful straw, which it was similar to the one from the beach. "Hi, I'm Lucy, and I can swim because of a plastic straw stuck on my flipper. This is because the beach and the ocean are polluted with rubbish. I need help." Let's discover the plastic ogre. The 3 friends were very sad and started to reflect on what they could do to change the attitude and behavior of humanity and make them understand that the Earth's oceans are the source of life and existence for all of them. They cannot continue in this way. The planet will become gray and dark, and all life will disappear in the near future. In front of them was a huge plastic mountain. Looking more carefully, they saw something stirring in the rubbish, and within 10 seconds, a screaming plastic ogre was standing in front of them. "Stand back! Who are you?" asked Little Globby. "Ha ha ha, you 3! You have woken me up. What are you doing here? Here is my land, and I will be soon the master of all seas and oceans." Max began to bark loudly and jumped at the plastic ogre, biting into his leg, which was made of glued up plastic bottles, cups, and colored straws. Then the plastic ogre tried to snare the 3 friends, but in vain, because they were much faster than him. The 3 friends escaped and continued on their journey. "I wonder how we can eliminate this plastic ogre from the seawater." Little Globby was thinking to himself. This thought preoccupied Little Globby through their whole journey. And you, my friend, what do you think that we must do to eliminate all plastic ogres from the seas and oceans? How do you think that all plastic gets in the sea? We need help We need to save our marine friends. Now we will propose you a little problem. It's the power of the mind, our page in this educational storybook. And you can chat with us and send us your results, or on our page, Little Globy. Recycling one single glass bottle can save enough energy to power a computer for 30 minutes. Imagine if we can recycle 100 glass bottles. What result did you get in hours and minutes? You can send us your results on the chat and also on our web page, Little Globy. Also, any questions that you have about recycling, about climate change, we are really happy to answer to them and to, you know, make a team together and take action to save the planet from all this rubbish, and not only. Aniana, okay, can we discuss the myth on plastic recycling and what happens to the majority of plastic in landfills? Yes, yes. Thank you for this question. Yes, indeed, it's a very, very good topic. Like all of us, we know that it is a problem with recycling the plastic, but in the last years, we have, you know, improved in all what means methods of recycling. And including not only the plastic, for example, in maritime, we have problems with the ballast water that is, you know, causing a lot of damage to the marine animals, to biodiversity in the seas and oceans. Now, in regards with plastics on the beach and in the sea, we have a lot of legislation on land and in maritime too. I can tell you that in maritime we have MARPOL, is the convention dedicated to marine pollution. And there are strict regulations. For example, we must complete a garbage record book. And if we don't respect that, of course, we will be fined. Now, we must to be sure that all legislation and regulations are really good implemented and respected. This is other problem. And of course, to improve day by day all these regulations, because we must to adapt, like the global warming is more and more evident, and climate change problems. So we must to adapt quickly and action quickly with more legislation, and not only that, to implement it and to be more responsible, to you know, create this awareness. This educational storybook is created by us exactly for this, to create awareness. I think from the earliest age we must to understand that we must to be really friendly with our planet, with our environment, to be responsible, and not only in regards with climate change, human kindness. For example, it's another sustainable development goal, you know, by United Nations, are 17 goals that we must to, you know, target in the next 10 years, and not only. So working together and understanding better how we can be involved, it's a good start. And also a good education and the quality education, it's another sustainable development goal, SDG 4. And this book, this educational storybook, actually wants to, to meet this target and these criteria. Yes, there is new legislation going through Parliament now, the Environment Bill, yes. Yes, a plastic tax, yes, of course. We know, yes, thank you for all these good points. Yes, companies make emotive claims about efficiency and sustainability, okay. However, this appears to be just a cover. Unfortunately, we must fight for this to not be only a checklist, to be really implemented and to be responsible. It's all about being responsible and being involved and respecting human, because it's not only about that. Respecting, gender equality is again a sustainable goal. Reducing inequalities, poverty, all these. So if we are respecting ourselves and we are respecting the nature, because it's our home, then we can implement better all this legislation, and to not only read it and check it on the list, to really care about all these aspects, because our planet is our home, and we must to take care of it, and yeah, and help each other and respect each other and respect the nature. Okay. Oh, okay. 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 Okay, correct. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Frank. Okay. Okay, great. Thank you. Now, how we are encouraging, children and adults, because this educational storybook is not only for our children, it's for all of us together, parents and grandparents and all adults around our children. I think we must to learn more and to be more involved in all what means climate change, but not only, all sustainable goals, because only in this way we can create a better future generation, and we can take care of our plastic. Little Globby, our character, is focused on all these aspects. He's promoting only good and positive values like friendship, like peace, another sustainable goal, climate change, human kindness, a good and quality education. We are focused on poverty. In our first educational story, we are helping children, poor children who in the magic night of the Christmas, they didn't have the possibility to buy a book or to receive a present. So all these aspects together can make a better planet, a better place to live, a better humanity. But of course, it's a lot to talk, and we are encouraging especially children through this educational storybook to discover Little Globby, to discover important aspects of climate change, to help the marine friends. So this is biodiversity, to start to recycle, to start to think and reflect on all what means climate change and saving our planet. And this could be started like from 3 years old. For that reason, our drawings are in black and white to can be colored, because coloring this baby turtle and with a straw in her flipper is actually making us to think why is hurt, how we can help her. We are all responsible for this, and we can help, we can stand together. The plastic ogre, again, it's created to make all people aware of all what is happening in the seas and oceans. And yes, it's really, really sad that we have a lot of legislation in maritime, but not all the time is respected. How we can recycle and be more responsible? We have only few, actions here. Use canvas bags and advices: reuse, reduce, recycle, the 3 R's from all sustainable and climate change education. Ride a bike, walk more, save energy and turn the lights off when you are not using it. Plant a tree, don't pollute, are only few things that we can do it for helping our planet, for helping us, for a better air, a better clean air, for more oxygen and so on. We have a lot to reflect on all this. Okay, Amanda, okay. The main message may be raising awareness in children on what they can do, allowing children to appreciate the environment and wildlife. This is one of the main aims of Chester Zoo, which I recently visited, for example. Yes, of course, it's a good place to promote that. Chester Zoo, all natural reserves, all what means nature, including our garden, all know it's our planet outside of our home. It's our home too. So we must respect it, we must learn more about it. If we are respecting the nature, we will be respected, we will have more oxygen, we will have a better place to live. This book, it was launched, for example, in a natural reserve in Lytham, especially because of this, because it's dedicated to climate change, and it was a really good place to speak about climate change in a natural reserve. Oh, great, Aniana. A disposable fashion recycling project. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes. Oh, thank you for sharing this. Thank you for these wonderful ideas. Yes, Margaret, Aniana, Amanda. Okay. And Frank. Yes. We can talk about sustainable fashion. Now, this sustainable concept, Stephen will talk more about this. I'm finishing in a short time now. We are talking about Sustainable Development Goals 2030, and we are talking about a lot of these aspects, from poverty till a quality education, till climate change, till natural land rules, till life beyond the seas and water, fresh water, inequalities, reducing all these, gender equality, are a lot of problems, 17 goals, and we must to work together to achieve all this, to make a better place, to respect the planet and respect ourselves, because respecting all this, we are respecting ourselves. And of course, it's a lot of work, because we know that profit many times is the principal objective, but we must to take care first about humans, about nature, about what we are living around us, the consequences of our actions. For that reason, we are trying our best to promote this. And Little Globy, the recycling superhero in the Plastic Ogre, is an educational story created specially for children, and not only to create awareness, to understand better our actions, the consequences of our actions. The marine animals are hurt, is just one example. We are creating plastic ogres. This is a unique concept that exists in this moment, the plastic ogre. And yes, we must to be aware and to take action, to be more involved. And this is the principal aim of this educational story. I hope you are enjoying it. Children can learn more about cardinal points. For example, in all educational stories, they can find interesting things like histories, traditions, how is formed the Northern Lights, cardinal points, a lot of different aspects and phenomena and all these kind of things. Okay. Thank you. For any question, please don't hesitate. We have a page, a Facebook page, Little Globy. I'm really happy to talk with you about educational actions, about climate change education, that is a new concept. And now I am just pass over to Stephen, because he has a lot to share about sustainability and 2030 hub in Liverpool, and about Merseyside Environmental Trust. And I'm really grateful that he was supporting our event, and he was supporting Little Globy in this presentation. Stephen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And yes, please, can you share your experiences and knowledge?
Okay.
Yes.
I was going to say, if you could stop sharing your screen now, and then
Okay.
if people are happy to switch their cameras on and put their microphones on, I'm quite happy to have a little bit of discussion. It's obviously a small group, but I think since there was a couple of good issues raised about plastics recycling, the myth, I did attend a webinar this week that was organized by the Chartered Institute of Waste Management, and you had quite a lot of you had Unilever, you had designers, you had plastic manufacturers, and really it's the complexity of the design of the packaging that makes it really difficult to recycle, because within one piece of packaging you could have 5 different components. You've got dispensing bottles with pump action, and it's all those intricate bits that actually make it really, really difficult to actually recycle properly. And there was a big discussion about the waste industry having to change, because at the moment, I run a business and I work with businesses. The waste contractor will quite happily provide you with one bin, and he will say, don't worry about it, I'll sort all the plastic out, I'll sort all your waste at my site. And a lot of the time it's just being burnt. It's not going to so you've got all these companies who are now claiming zero to landfill. Well, that's true. We're running out of landfill in the UK, but a lot of this waste is actually just being sent to energy from waste. It's recovery. So you've now got reduce, reuse, recycle, recover, and it's still one step up from landfill. But the industry recognises it needs to change, and there is a new waste and resources strategy for England came out at the back end of 2018, which is now coming through into the Environment Bill, which is going through Parliament now. So I think there will be some change, but the whole waste industry needs to change. And Brexit is going to have an impact. Because at the moment, a lot of our commercial waste is actually exported to Germany, the Netherlands, and Norway, and is burnt in district heating schemes to warm the houses. But if there's no deal and there's a tariff introduced, it'll become expensive to ship it abroad, and we're going to have lots of waste to deal with in the UK ourselves. So I think there's a sea change coming, but I don't know how the waste industry is going to get itself back together to tackle it.
Also, when it's burned, there's still an incremental increase of landfill because there is still a residual ash. It may take longer, but we are still, and it's all toxic. None of it's biodegradable.
Well, I know there are some companies coming through with bioplastics, but a lot of these are actually, the plastic just breaks down into really small pieces and actually gets into the food chain much quicker.
Could I just ask about this recycling of plastic? Because the average person, household, assumes they are doing good. We have been seduced into the promotion of recycling, and that we are all feeling as if what's happening to the planet, we can be excused because we're following these practices, the reuse, recycling, etc. And we know that in a sense, it has a very minimum effect. We do need to go to the companies, the manufacturers. I was alarmed that even tea bags have plastic. The bags in itself, that tea, so your average PG tips, the bags don't decompose. They become fragmented bits of plastic entering our marine life, etc. I mean, it's really, really staggering the amount of plastic in our everyday life. But what I find more staggering is the lack of conversation. And so if the average person thinks when they recycle their plastic bottles in the bin, they feel that they have actually been part of the solution. But then again, the plastic can only be recycled once. Most plastics, after a second recycling, that's it. It ends up back in landfill or the incinerator. And until that education is promoted and people are more aware, these manufacturers can get away with that spin of being efficient, sustainable, and really they are not. They are finding other ways to continue their, practices, which is detrimental. As I said, my son is now 21, and at his primary school, plastic years ago was an issue, and they did a play. It wasn't called Mr. Blobby, but it was Mr. Recycle, and it was dealing with all the same narratives that Mr. Blobby wonderfully expresses to children. And this was, a testimony to know that even though nearly 2 decades ago this was an issue in the classroom, being taught in education, those children have grown up. They are now adults. Well, have their behavior changed? So we really do need to reinforce that education, but we also need to hold companies accountable. Brexit never talks about what you just said, the recycling. It doesn't talk about the manufacturing industry, the chemical industry. I looked at all the, they've got special deals, etc., etc. None of that comes into the fore when we talk about Brexit. It's focused on immigration. It's a distraction, and this needs to be out there. That's me.
There are conversations starting to take place, because I know the tea bag issue. So I know that PG are now looking at, because there has been more public awareness raised around plastics and the plastic issue. Blue Planet, David Attenborough, the whale eating the plastic, raised a lot of issues. And because consumers get concerned, businesses start to get concerned and change their way. In the 2030 Hub, we have which is a co-working space, that we have a packaging company, and as well as doing cardboard and jute sacks and things of that nature, the more traditional packaging, they've also now got plastic alternatives. So they have a plastic alternative wrapping made from cassava root.
Mm-hmm.
And for food contact applications, they got one that's seaweed based. So these products are starting to come through, but it takes a while. And of course, we've now got the legacy of 50 plus years of plastics that we've been generating and not responsibly disposing of. That's what as you say, we feel we're doing our bit. We put our paper in a bag. We put our glass bottle in a crate, and we put our plastics in another container. And we think we're not recycling. All we're doing is segregating.
Yeah.
We rely on someone else down the chain to actually do the recycling for us. And as you say, we put our faith and trust that someone is doing that on our behalf. And sadly, as a lot of it, especially with the plastics, because there's so many different types of plastics, there could be 6 different plastics in one container, that they can't easily recycle them. So they do end up being shredded and burnt and not reprocessed. And I think just like paper, because paper can only be recycled about 4 or 5 times, because the fiber length shrinks, so won't mesh to make new paper. It'll be the same with the plastic polymers. After being recycled 2 or 3 times, you won't get the same strength. But the new legislation,
they can only recycle plastic once. That's the life cycle of recycled plastic. Can only be recycled once, and then it loses its consistency to be of any worth. And that was very alarming for me.
I think it depends on the plastic. Some have longer life cycles, but in the environment bill that's going through Parliament in the next couple of weeks, they're looking to set a tax. If a manufacturer wants to buy virgin plastic, there'll be an additional tax that they've got to pay. But if they just buy the new plastic that will have 30%, a minimum of 30% recycled content in it, that won't have the tax. So the government's trying to change things slowly, but not radically.
Yeah.
It's the same with petrol and diesel. Sorry, Amanda, did you want to say something?
Thank you. Yes, I was just going to say, a friend of mine just said on Facebook, because of course the argument has just, arisen that and I'm one of them, that you feel you do your recycling, so you're doing your bit. But of course, you're relying on it then going on to be processed.